Hi, my name is Jake Ford, and the purpose of this video is to explain what I learned about organizational change as a result of completing my diagnostic project for the course. So when you hear the words organizational change, I think it's safe to assume that a lot of us believe that this means change to a part of the organization that is not necessarily human related, such as policy, procedures, or changes in management, leadership, when in actuality, and more commonly throughout my diagnostic project at least, I learned that a lot of these changes are actually humanistic components as well, such as like motivation, morale, office culture. It was very interesting to me that these components are not necessarily what comes to mind at the beginning of thinking of change. However, these components seemed to impact and often be more of the catalysts for change than a lot of the other pieces. The other thing that I learned is how important it really is for employee buy-in when trying to execute large-scale change in an organization. Employees need a reason to want to participate in a change, and for some it's money, and for some it's other purposes, or wanting to do better for an organization or with an organization. It has to be mutually beneficial, or employees are not going to be effective in enacting and physically participating in the change efforts. And in order for a change to be successful, you need cooperation amongst all components of the organization. Employees want to be heard. Another common theme that I learned that was quite surprising to me actually is how important it is to include all components and all pieces of the chain of command when you're executing a large-scale change. A common theme was that people wanted their voice to be heard by higher executives, even if they were lower on the food chain of leadership. The ability to have an impact on widespread change in an organization really motivated the employees and made them feel like they had a purpose in the organization. Feeling like an organization cares about them and what they think is a good way to retain employees and help them to understand why this change is necessary and to embrace it. Sometimes two executives in a room do not necessarily know what is best for an entire agency of employees, especially when you're talking about nonprofit or government-related agencies like the one that I focused my report on. Something else that I learned is that change by definition is making something different by altering or modifying it. And what's ironic about that is that with change and organizational change, there is almost only one thing ever constant in an organization, and that itself is change. That things will inevitably always change, environments will change, markets will change, employees will change, leadership, policies, procedures. Almost every aspect of an organization is going to have to change and adapt in order to be effective in tailoring to its private markets, in order to tailor to its customers, to its employees. And by being so completely resistant to change, I think that a lot of people close themselves off from opportunities to improve on things that really need to be improved on. Sometimes people are afraid of change because they think that it'll be difficult to learn about something new or to participate in something new, do it a different way. But in actuality, by embracing the change and finding a mutually beneficial component to it, it could be a lot more effective, and the transition to change could be a lot more smoother for both employees and leadership within an organization. I would say that those are the things that have resonated the most with me after completing this organizational change project, and I appreciate the opportunity to kind of have this firsthand experience with this, and thank you for listening.